What is up, guys? It is Jacob from Quad Hunting, and this is the Lions-Texans Week 8 preview. So this week, the Detroit Lions are taking on the Houston Texans in Houston for a game that is going to be, is what I'm going to start calling it, the movable object meeting the stoppable force. I'll stop. Okay, so the Texans offense is bad, and the Lions defense is bad. So it'll probably be one of those games where both teams will try to be worse than the other in that retrospect. Texans defense, however, is not so bad as their offense. They're rating up there in the top half of the league in all stats. 14th in points at 22 points a game, 8th in yards, 2nd in passing yards, and then their rushing yards are 29th in the league. But they've been playing, it sounds like they're playing a lot more behind, so that kind of happens when you're not getting passed on as much. But still, only allowing 22 points a game is pretty big. And the passing yards being as down as it is, it's something to kind of worry about, because we know the Lions they can't run. They haven't been able to run all year. Well, they did when Abdullah was healthy and Riddick was both healthy, but since then it's kind of been a little sketchy with the run. So this is going to be one of those games where a bad part of the Texans goes up against a bad part of the Lions, and a good part of the Lions goes up against a good part of the Texans. Lions offense is great, even with all the injuries, and then the Texans defense is good. Even missing J.J. Watt and all the players they have out. Brian Cushing's out, J.J. Watt is out, and they have they're being held together right now by former first-round pick Jadeveon Clowney, who is playing pretty well right now. He's according to Texans fans and analysts, they've been saying that he is now one of the better run blockers in the league. He's able to get out there and stop the run. He's able to play all positions on the defensive line, from defensive end, nose tackle, and play that standing up 3-4 linebacking rushing role. So that's something for the Lions to look out for. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney both in this game. That would have been a disaster, but only have to worry about Clowney. Yeah, that guy. I'm just kind of going off my train of thought. The Houston Texans offense does not scare me at all. Brock Osweiler has been proven to not be worth the money he was given. Throwing 52%, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I don't know. I mean, I know there's pretty much a 2-year deal with how much money is given, and they can pretty much opt out of it after 2 years if they're not happy with Osweiler. But this is proven right now he's just not the franchise quarterback they were hoping he was going to be right off the bat. It still can change. There's still only the first half of the season, but I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out, honestly. The Texans' biggest right now thing going for them is Lamar Miller, and he's questionable right now for the game, so who knows if he goes. If he doesn't go, it's going to be Alfred Blue. Morris was playing for, he's playing for the Cowboys. Yeah, I know that. Okay. I'm all over the place. But their wide receivers are something we have to watch out for. We just have to hope Osweiler can't get him the ball like he couldn't do it against the Broncos. But right now he has 2 good receivers in DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller. Will Fuller being the rookie coming in, and he is right now their big play threat. He's averaging 14.5 yards a reception with a long of 53. There for a while, he was playing better than DeAndre Hopkins, but right now the Texans just want to get them both going at the same time. They haven't really done that. Their third leading receiver is their tight end. God, I'm going to butcher this name. Fedoris? I know he played for the Hawkeyes from Iowa in college, but and right now he is the third leading receiver, tied with Ryan Griffin at 21 receptions both. They have receivers to be scared of, but I don't think it's like they have to be given the ball by Osweiler. So if we can disrupt Osweiler, it'll be okay. We don't have to really worry about them. I think that's pretty much it for that. But of course, they're playing the Lions defense. Osweiler will look like a franchise Hall of Famer and destroy the Lions like Case Keenum has and Brian Hoyer has and Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck, and yeah, it goes on. A bunch of quarterbacks have beaten us bad this year, and I predict that'll happen again this week. Now going to the Lions side, I'm not worried much about our offense. Even with the injuries, we're getting Theo Riddick back this week. He is making his return, which is much needed. Our running game is a disaster. Matthew Stafford is our second leading rusher in terms of yards with 126 yards, and Theo Riddick's only above him with 171. That's kind of scary that Matthew Stafford right now is our second leading rusher. Kind of reminds me of the Green Bay Packers when Aaron Rodgers was actually good. So, hopefully we can get Dwayne Washington back sometime soon. Theo Riddick's, I think, is back for this game. I read in the injury report that he is in. Darius Slay is out, however, so that's something to worry about. I didn't even realize this looking at the I haven't looked at the team stats actually the whole year going on, but Marvin Jones leads the Lions with 33 receptions. I heard about how many receptions and how good he's been this year. Anquan Boldin is number 2 with 32. Then Golden Tate is right there with 31. The Lions are spreading the ball out between the receivers. That's pretty impressive with those top 3 receivers. Marvin Jones with 623 yards. He is killing it in the long game. He's got 4 touchdowns. Anquan Boldin's been that reliable third down guy. He's got 4 touchdowns. And Golden Tate had that one big game, and he followed it up last week and had another good game. So did Jones. They both finally got on the same page. All the receivers had a good game. They all had big catches. And he's got 1 touchdown. We're getting Theo Riddick back, which is good because we need that an extra receiving threat. I haven't heard about Ebron much yet. I don't know if he's going to be playing yet or not. So right now, and then everyone else is just kind of... It's nice to see Clay Harbor last week got into a better role and was able to carve out a role for himself in the offense, so that's always good to see that. I don't really think that's pretty much all there is to talk about. Defensively, however, like I said, this team is it's leaky all over the place. Levy's down. We traded Van Noy away to the Patriots for a 6th-round draft pick. We traded also a 7th-rounder. So if you want to look at it this way, we traded a 7th-rounder in Van Noy for Kyle Bostic and a 6th-rounder. So we kind of came out okay in that deal. I know Van Noy's a 2nd-round pick, but he just wasn't producing. It seems like he was going to get cut when they brought back Josh Bynes, which they did. So they got something out of him, which is always good. So the defensive line did get a push last week, which was nice to see. The whole defensive line as a whole was able to get in there and push around the Redskins offensive line, so that was always nice to see them starting to get some pressure. But I don't see that continuing this week. I know we got Josh Bynes back, which is nice. It helps out the linebackers a lot. Having Bynes, who's familiar with the system, played well when Levy was injured last year. He got injured the preseason this year. So they put him on the IR, then they released him with an injury settlement, and then they had to wait an extra so many weeks to sign him back, and they did that. They went through that whole process. Now he's back with the Lions, so that's always nice to see that, where you're not having to worry about Van Noy missing tackles, taking bad angles, being blocked all the time. That's nice. But yeah, we're gonna be without Slay again this week. That means we're gonna be relying on Johnson, Batamosi, Nevin Lawson, and Diggs. I'm not excited about that, especially with that especially those first 2 talented receivers that the Texans have in Fuller and Hopkins. Yeah, Fuller and Hopkins. That makes me nervous. Those 2 going against those guys, that's just not a good matchup for the Lions. Quinn and all the safeties are going to have to try to match up there and help out a lot. But we're in Houston. He said this is a bad offense going against a bad defense and a good offense going against a good defense. So I'm going to have to give the push to Houston. It's in Houston. Put the Lions at 4-4, but I'm going to predict a final score of 24-21, and Stafford's gonna mess up another comeback this week, which is gonna send a lot of fans in a frenzy, saying he's not elite, and all the talk about that was premature, but it's not. He is elite. Elite quarterbacks mess up every once in a while. It happens. So yeah, that is it for this week. predicting the Lions loss 24-21. Close loss. Perhaps a Prater miss. Hopefully not. I hope not. I said that is going to happen. Oh, damn it. Okay. Well, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments, all that good stuff like normal, and I will talk to you guys all next time.